What's going on, everybody? Welcome to People, Places, Power Tools with Ethan. Today we're at Fifth Hammer Brewing Company, going to be checking out how they brew their beer. Let's go inside. Here we go. Brewery staff only. I love it. All right, we are in the place where the magic happens. Tell us a little about what we got back here.
We're a 15-barrel brew house here in Long Island City, Queens. We've been open 2 years and 4 months, but it's grown a lot. So what you see today is definitely not what we started with, but things have been groovy.
Well, it's a great space. Let's check it out.
Thank you.
All right. So here we are at the start. It was an idea, and now you got to make it into reality. How are you doing that?
Now we've got to make it. So we've ordered all the ingredients. We've got kernels of malted barley, but what we want is what's on the inside of this malted barley. So in order to get to it, we got to crush it. And that's where our first piece of machinery comes in. There are a lot of different kinds of mills. You can get a really great crush if you have a 4-roller mill. In my case, I have a 2-roller mill. It takes us about 20 minutes to mill about 1,200 pounds of grain and send it to our mash tun.
All right.
This vessel behind us is the hot liquor tank. In a brewery, liquor is water. I'm not sure why, but it's old school. It's what we call it. But that's basically a giant hot water tank. We will get things to the temperature that we want to blend it with the grain, and then we'll go to the next stop.
All right.
So all of that grain ends up as a big mixed up kind of oatmeal. Inside this is called the mash tun. This is called the mash, this proverbial oatmeal. And we still only have 2 ingredients here. There's a false bottom here. In this case, we also have a mixing, we have some mixing rakes. It's motorized, so we don't have to stir it. It's a very nice luxury to have. There's also a plow that we can lower at the end of that, so when we're done with it, when we finally separated the liquids from the solids, we're able to kind of like dump it out into a compost bin and get it out.
All right, so you got in here. How do you get it out of here?
Step 1 is this mash. This is called the mash. We've now converted all this water and grain into this sugar water. There's a lot of sugar from this thing. We got to separate the solids out because we don't want to drink a big old thing of oatmeal. So that false bottom, we will sift it out. It goes through our process piping. We let it go through this. This is a lauter grant. So this allows the liquid to kind of sift through that natural filter bed of the grains with just gravity. Whereas if I had it going directly to a pump, I might be sucking on all that, just that weight, and it would just like take forever to do. Usually we can get 465 gallons of liquid from mash to kettle in about an hour and a half, and that's a good lauter. So now we're in the other vessel, which is our boil kettle. We're boiling for a couple of reasons. We're boiling to kind of boil off any aromatics that are precursors to things that we find as off flavors in our final beer. We're elongating protein chains. It's still only 2 ingredients, but when we finally get to this kettle, now we're adding our 2 ingredients. Now we're adding a 3rd ingredient. We're adding hops, and we're adding hops because if we had just decided to ferment this liquid, it would be really sweet and wouldn't be very balanced. Like we have this, we definitely get alcoholic, but it would just be sweet. So hops act as a preservative. They also act as a bittering unit.
All right, so we got 1 ingredient, 2 ingredient, oatmeal.
Now we got 3.
Hops, 3 ingredients.
3 ingredients.
That's where we go from there.
So now, okay, there's a saying in beer where brewers make work, yeast makes beer.
Okay.
And so our job as brewers is to make this giant, really great meal out of these first 3 ingredients, and then feed it to our guests of honor, the yeast, and give it a great home to do. But yeast would die at 212 degrees. It would die here in there. So now we've got to send it through a heat exchange. We go from boiling, from 212 degrees through this. There's a lot of contact area. We'll send cold water and or glycol through the other way so that when it comes out the bottom, we're coming out at the temperature with which we want the yeast is going to be comfortable at. And those are my fermenters. So that's where the yeast will eat this meal and thank us with.
So let's head on over there and check them out.
All right, this is our family of fermenters. This is I've got 4 30-barrel fermenters, 2 15-barrel fermenters. When we started here, we had only what's here against the wall, but we've turned all of our vessels into uni-vessels, meaning that we can carbonate in each one of these tanks. So each one of these tanks is rated to 2 bar, 30 psi. And also, what you can't see, but in between, just like our mash tun and our kettle, it has a coil in there with for the steam. These have coils for glycol, so we can temperature control and make sure that our yeast is doing what we want it to do and producing the flavors that we need.
Okay.
These are my good friends. They're all named after my favorite saxophone players.
Yeah, let's hear the name.
All
Run down the band.
Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Dexter Gordon, Sonny Rollins, Paul Gonzalez, Ornette Coleman, Pharoah Sanders, Lester Young, Sidney Bechet, and then I've got 2 Grundys over in the back. That's Coleman Hawkins and Ben Webster.
It sounds like an all-star lineup.
That's great. Yeah.
Right. After it goes through there, goes through there. Here, how long are we looking at?
Now it depends on the beer and the strength of alcohol. Ales don't take as long as lagers take to. Lager literally means to cold store or cold age. And that comes down to the type of yeast that can handle the alcohol and give you the type of beer you want. Generally, we're about 2 weeks to 5 weeks, depending on the beer. All right, so we've already been through the fermenter. I've gotten to the end of it. We've gotten the final gravity, and we carbonated in that vessel, my Uni-Tank vessel, or we've carbonated in the Bright Tank, whatever kind of beer we've tried to do. So now we send it to the Kegtopus. We call it our Kegtopus, but it's just basically a manifold that the beer goes in, and then we'll go into a keg through the spout here. Pretty simple method. This is how it's done, and this is.
Sure, yeah. All right, take it away. And then beer.
Then we're gonna.
We'll play some exciting music during this part.
Get the chart. Let's fill the kegs.
All right, I love it.
We throw a little bit of sanitizer in the top, split the cap with a different cap, and then we sell it. Or we serve it. Want to see where we serve it?
I do.
All
Let's
right,
go.
let's do it.
Should we yell?
You ready?
All right, so right now we're in the keg room or the cold room, as you can feel. Tell us what we're looking at right here.
All right, we're here at the walk-in, and we're looking at where all the beer ends up when we serve it. So we're about 100 feet from where our draft system is in the front side of the room. We spent some time with Chris and saw the bar. And so this room is very cold, but it's got 100 feet to go. So on the other side of this wall is another glycol system that it feeds into the line and runs along with all of this beer all the way to 100 feet down to where we serve it on draft. And it's coming out around 38 degrees.
Gotcha. Yeah, so when you're at the bar and you say, oh, they're changing out the keg, this is where they're changing it out.
This is where they're running back to, yeah. And it's pretty simple, great system. It's really clean work, but we have storage up here. We're trying to maximize the use of this room. Sometimes it's really, really, really crowded in here.
It's definitely not a t-shirt area. So let's head out of the cold room and see what else we got. So start in your head. We saw how it was made. Went to the cold room, keg room, going all through all the tubes. Right here at the end. I don't know. This is the exciting part for me.
It's almost to the end. This is where I belong.
I like it. Chris, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you showing us around.
Absolutely.
Fifth Hammer Brewing Company. Check them out. Let's check out the beers.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's some great beer. Some great beer.
man.
All right, I'm gonna be drinking these. See you all later. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching People, Places, Power Tools with Ethan. New episode each week, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss any of them. See you next time.